The Bridges Burn podcast is brought to you by Youth Bar, Halifax's home for science-driven aesthetics and care you can trust.
Their expert team delivers natural results with personalized care in a friendly, welcoming environment.
As a Bridges Burn podcast listener, you're invited to use the exclusive code BridgesBurn for special pricing on your first Botox or filler treatment or one of their other many services.
You can follow at Youth Bar HFX on Instagram to check them out and book your visit today.
This is Bridges Burned with Megan and Amy. Okay, well, welcome to Burning Bridges, mid-season episode.
A little recap, if you will, of what had started off as just something fun and exciting to do is now really taking off.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of crazy because way back in the summertime, you and I were like, let's do a podcast called Currently Unemployed. And we'll sit out on the whatever the thing is, the blow up thing in the middle of the lake.
Yep.
And we'll film it and we'll do it. And then it just changed to this.
It did. We were like, why don't we do something meaningful and something that we know? And the response has been really overwhelming and incredible.
Yeah, it has. Honestly, well, I didn't expect it. Did you?
No, I genuinely didn't think anybody would listen. I thought maybe like 5 people, but it's nice to see, you know, because unlike radio where they have the stupidest way of seeing if people are listening or not, whether it's books or PPM.
Yeah.
This way you can actually see who's listening. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And honestly, we got some messages, like private messages from people that I haven't heard of, number one, in years. And number two, I just didn't really think I don't know. I guess I just didn't think they would listen. And good messages.
Oh, so many good messages. I've gotten so many messages from women still in media being like, dude, I wish I could share my story right now. Or people being like, if I didn't have an NDA, I would be on your show like right away. People that we didn't even have to reach out to. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so nice.
I know, because the first little bit, we were like struggling to find people. Not struggling, but we were like, what about this person? But now people are reaching out to us saying they want to talk because we're giving them a platform to finally be able to say their piece.
And a lot of people, I know when we first started this, I wasn't 1000% ready to share all my stories because it was still very fresh and new. And I understand how scary it can be. And some people aren't just ready to do that just yet. But for everybody who has, it's been amazing.
We don't know how to do this yet, but if you really want to share your story and want us to disguise your voice, just let us work on our editing skills and we'll be able to do that for next season.
Yeah, a little dark alley with a little cigarette. I remember back when.
And when we finally get our videos up and going, we'll just put you in like a dark, you'll just be a silhouette basically.
Yeah, with a big hat.
Yeah, and you can tell us all your secrets. Because there's been a few people that, obviously the first season we've done media, but I've heard of other women that I really want to talk to. Some of them are in like the military, that sort of thing.
Military's crazy, man.
I would feel like that would be a really crazy episode and something I think is very important to talk about. But again, I think they have to either be out of the military or it has to be like secret. But I feel like that would be an explosive episode.
We've had people from other industries being like, I know I'm not in media, but everything you're saying and like nail on the head to my industry, which is very male dominant. And so we're really excited to start working on season 2 and just go past the media. You know, maybe some media people will still be on there, but we really want to talk to all women because it doesn't matter what industry you are. If it's a male dominant boy club, you know, you're going to have the same stories.
Totally. I mean, there's some media people I'd love to talk to, like Lisa LaFlamme.
Oh my God.
We both really want to talk to her.
I mean, we've slid in her DMs so many times.
I slid in her DMs. I don't even think she's seen it. I'll have to take a look again, but I'll message her again. And I don't know. There's honestly so many people we could talk to, and I'm just excited. Like we said, there's been more a bigger reception than we thought. We've heard from people we haven't heard from in years and years. Like our old PD that we had together that I really liked. I think you really liked him too. He messaged us and he was like, it was awesome. Like, it's just really nice.
Well, I thought really nice messages too. I've had a few people saying like you're doing important work.
Yeah.
And to me that filled my cup because we're just talking and stuff, but we are sharing stories that a lot of people might not know the dark side of media, and sharing these stories, shining a light. I've actually had a person that I know, he's a really big guy in media. He has like the website that you go to find radio jobs. And he actually wrote this to me the other day. I've heard quite a bit of your podcast. You've done so well getting that off the ground. I'm just so sorry to hear about all the unnecessary bullshit that you and other women have encountered in broadcasting. I wish I'd been a better mentor to you and that I could have been someone for you to talk to about some of these things. You're opening my eyes, and I'm sure many other people's eyes, to things they may not have been aware of enough of going on, especially for women. I'm proud of you for your endurance and for your willingness to speak up.
That's amazing.
Like, men are writing us this.
I'm honestly like, there have been quite a few men, actually, lots of women, of course, but like quite a few men that are like, ew.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that that's what happens. One thing I cannot stand is when men are like, well, I don't do that, so how could it be like that? That's a ridiculous thing to say. You're not in our shoes. You don't know. So I really appreciate the men who are like, as on behalf of all men, I'm so sorry. And I hope this does something.
Absolutely. Maybe, if you are a man in charge, in power, you just kind of look at what we go through a little differently with, all of our struggles and everything that we have to go, just more of an open mind for it. And you know what? Like, we have been shining a light on some shitty ass PDs, but there's some really great guys in media too. This isn't like all the men in media.
No.
It's like 60% of them.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I think, they should be talked about. And I think, obviously there's great people. There's great people in everywhere, in every industry of the world. But when you're treated terribly, it really makes your workplace toxic.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of bad things like depression and, I could go on.
I was looking back at who we've talked to so far. Everybody has had some sort of like mental illness and gone to therapy. And I'm like, is it radio and media that caused that? Or were we all just a little like woo before we entered the industry?
I think we are all woo-woo. Because why would you even get in this industry in the first place if you weren't?
Yeah.
Like, for example, none of my family, well, hardly any of my family is in the industry. Well, none of my family is in the industry that we're in. And I think I'm weird to them because I think they don't really understand me. So it makes sense that we've gone into this weird industry.
Yeah.
But then from there, we are still good people with heads on our shoulders, and we've realized we're not being treated right. And our mental health has suffered because, I don't know, we went in with high hopes and put so much work into it. We've worked so hard. And then to see like nothing.
Yeah. And it's funny, I'm going to go on a little rant if you'll come along on my rant journey.
Please do.
So I was sitting with Everett the other day, and he was like, you're really talented, and I'm really sad to think that you're out of media. Like, are you sure this is what you want? And I'm like, well, right now, I don't think anybody would hire me. But I was like, I am somebody that when I am done with someone or done with something, I am done.
Done.
Done. And I walked him through this whole thing, and he was like, wow, I understand. Like, just recapping, from the time I walked into radio broadcasting school, I had a professor, and I liked him, but the first thing he said to me was, you have to drop the little girl accent and your French accent. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day and drink some whiskey? Like, this is my voice. And he's like, well, you're going to have to change that. And then I just think of all of these men who have put me down over the years, whether it was me moving to Halifax and my boss being like, how desperate are they? To, I remember working the boss that we had, that was the first time I felt like I was accepted. Like somebody saw me and wanted to help me shine. And for that, I'm forever grateful. And then he left, and we had this other PD who was just so like infatuated with our sales manager and how shitty of a job he's doing that he wasn't paying attention to any of the staff or anything. And I remember once like I had an oil spill in my house, and that happened at 11 o'clock at night. And I called and I was like, I can't do mornings, like, I have to leave. And he's like, well, do you own the house? Why don't you just come sleep at, like, he would not give me the day off. And I was like, what? So I still showed up so scared, to lose my job.
Yeah.
And then another PD that I had, he forgot my name 3 times.
Stop.
He called me Wendy. He
Do you look like a Wendy? I don't think so.
This was a company that, had the biggest mental health day, and we were told to share our stories, And then the day after this biggest story, I was brought into his office because I had wrote a blog about how my mental health was bad and how I, thought of drowning myself in the lake before I would come to do my show and smile. And he was like, don't you think you went a little too far and you shared a little bit too much? Aren't you embarrassed for being that open? And I was just sitting there like, oh my God. And then going to my last place where it was like, well, I'm not paid the same, or, you know what I can do? I can help you. And he's like, well, I didn't hire you. This isn't the team I would want to put together. And just every chance that he had, just bring me down. And he would be like, oh, you don't have the experience, maybe, you've done like swing, you don't have that experience. And it's like, no, you don't have the experience. I've worked in every single position that you can do. I know how everything works, music and this, and the fact, like, when is my experience gonna be enough?
Yeah.
All of that in the past 18 years, I like who I am. And I never really cared what people thought. But when you have men constantly putting you down, and especially because we are personalities, that is our personality. When somebody's constantly telling you your personality is shit, it takes a toll on you. Yeah. And looking back at all of that, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm looking to go back to school to work with kids because I've worked with so many goddamn children. I'm like, might as well work with the children who are actual children.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that all of what we've gone through has gotten us prepared for this.
Yeah.
Like literally this podcast. Because I myself have thought about this. I thought like I'm starting all over again. And then I thought, no, I'm not. I have 20 years experience in radio. If we were literally the first time ever on the mic, yeah, okay, we'd be starting from scratch. We're not.
No.
We're starting from the amount of experience we have, which is a lot. It is a fuck ton of experience. We just have had quite a few bumps along the way, and that has brought us to here. Although we're not sitting here making millions right away. That's to come.
Manifest that shit, Meg.
You manifest that all that time. That is to come. We're not starting over again. And technically, we're out of the mainstream, would you call it mainstream media? Technically, we are out of that, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I don't think so either. And just, I'm finally finding a place where I'm like, I am happy with myself and I like my personality. And I'm so tired of these people who unfortunately have been mostly men devaluing me, telling me I don't have experience, telling me I'm not worth it, forgetting my fucking name. Like, all of that for the last 17 years is just enough.
Yeah.
Enough. And I'm done with that.
I remember not my last PD in Vancouver, but one of my last PDs in Vancouver. He was leaving because of mental health issues. But like the day he left, he didn't come over to me and say goodbye. He didn't come over to me and say, hey, let's have a little chat before I go. I'd love to talk. Nothing at all. And I don't recall many PDs devaluing me per se, but I just remember quite a few of them just not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, the amount of work I put in, the amount of time I've spent, the amount of shit I've done for free, I'm not doing it anymore. And I want to do stuff like this, like what we're doing. I like your voice and you like my voice. We were listening back to our podcast and we were like, wow, our voices are completely different.
If only we could sing. Imagine what we could do.
I mean, I could try and sing if you'd like. I used to take voice lessons, but you're not going to get us confused.
Yeah.
We're both very different sounding. And I think that's great. I also think our different experiences in life, where we were born, where we have spent our 20s, our 30s, whatever. I think that is amazing to bring. And there's no one above us being like, you sounded a little bit weird this morning. You sound a little bit tired. I didn't really like the topic. There's no one like that anymore. I mean, people can write to us, but fuck it.
So the last station that I was at, so for those who don't know radio, it's like there's a female demographic or a male demographic. Rock is usually male, pop is usually female, and you're trying to get to that demographic 18 to 35, 25 to 44.
Yeah.
And in my last one, we had a really good book for females. We were like in the top 3, which was incredible. And I was so proud of myself. And they were mad. They were mad that so many women were listening, that they were like, well, it's because you listen to you talk about Vanderpump Rules and you talk about this. You're not allowed to talk about girl things anymore. You has to be male. How would a male like this? We're female friendly, but just all of these rules that they put into place. And I was like, who cares who's listening?
Yeah.
And also, when we've talked to so many people about it. It's just the way it is. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
Let's focus on how many non-binary there are now. If they get a book, who do they fill it out? Are they female? Are they male? No, they're not. They don't identify as either. So right there, you're losing on a big chunk of people.
Yeah. I think we're tired.
Everybody is tired and we want a little bit of a change.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is the perfect time because the world isn't just females 18 to 34 anymore. Like, it just isn't that. Will we have a certain demographic that wants to listen to us? For sure. But anyone can. Yeah. We're not saying you can, this is only for women ages this to this. This is for everybody. Everyone can listen. And I think that is the beauty of doing a podcast.
Even looking at radio, man or woman, layoffs happen, and a lot of the time it's the talent. We're called talent. We're not all talented, but that's what they call us, the talent. And when you are let go, a lot of people don't deserve to be let go, and it's a lot of big bosses, budget cuts or
It's all about money.
It really is all about money. And sometimes you're looking at these really great, talented people getting let go, and you're like, my God, it should have been that manager who's making the quote unquote big bucks, who doesn't know how to run a station. They should be the one to be let go instead of these people who are giving their all, their time, their energy for basically no pay. And they're the first to go.
When I was in Vancouver, the station I worked for, I was on a couple of stations. And one day I used to go into work for about 1-ish, 2-ish. And I got in there and the entire station was laid off. That entire station, all of them. It was right after COVID. And it was quiet as hell in those hallways. But I thought, these people were so good on air. And in order to save money or whatever, they put on a syndicated comedy show instead of, it was a sports station. I'm like, number one, that was local sports, which would be huge. The Vancouver Canucks, like all that shit, people listen to that. Yeah. And they put on a syndicated comedy show on the radio where you can't swear, of course. You can't really say that much, where people can find comedy anywhere. Mm-hmm. You can go on YouTube, you can go on TikTok, whatever. And they fired all of those extremely talented people. And all those guys, the ones that really were very talented, they all got jobs in other stations. I think a couple of them have podcasts and stuff. But the stations don't care. It's all about the money. They don't care.
It's crazy. There's this picture that I love. It's from 2011 and it's Summer Rush. It was a free concert we used to put on here in Halifax. They did one in Toronto too, but there's a staff picture of just that one station, and we are about 8 or 9 people, all one station.
Was it when I was there still?
Yeah, You're in the picture. It's all of us.
Oh, nice.
It's one of my favorite pictures because we're just so young and happy. And now you look at a station and you're lucky if you have 4 people on that station. If You go into any studio now. Once upon a time, there was people everywhere and laughter. They are ghost towns now.
Yeah.
There's nobody because a lot of the talent is coming out of Toronto and is syndicated, which means, if you have a station that is across Canada and they have so-and-so in every market, it's one person doing all of that. And the same thing for the contesting too. We used to do such fun contesting where you brought communities together.
Yeah.
You hung out. We went to movie premieres. We did all of these things with the community. And now it's just like you could win so-and-so money, but it's all across Canada to save money. Nothing's fun. Nothing's intimate anymore.
I used to do the Burger King free lunch every day during my request hour.
Ooh.
Nobody requests songs either anymore because you don't need to, really.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to touch the music anymore.
No, God, no.
It's not fun.
No. And that was fun. I actually really liked it. I loved when people called in and I got to edit some fun calls and play their song. And I could sometimes I would choose one song like almost every lunch hour because
it's your request.
Yeah, it's request. And the same guy would request the same song and I play every day. And then I noticed one day they took it out of the system completely. I think it was Cookie Jar by Gym Class Heroes.
Oh my God.
I just loved that. At that time, I just loved that song. But yeah, I know it was so fun before. And now it's different, but it's going to be fun in other ways.
Really, like, I've taken a lot in from all the women we've talked to. And one thing that Priya Sam said that really stuck out to me, and she said, there's no more glitz and glamour anymore either. And it's so true. It's just all this extra free work for no glitz and glamour. Maybe some concert tickets here and there, but the things we used to do. And
we used to get flown to Toronto from Halifax for this Christmas party every year.
Yeah.
One year I won a trip to Dominican from that. We had so much fun. Would I rather had a bonus? Maybe.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. In Vancouver, they never had a Christmas party for us.
Christmas parties don't exist anymore. When I worked in Ottawa, we had like a huge, beautiful building and they would come in and cater it, open bar, and the stories that happened. But that, like, maybe there's a Christmas lunch. Maybe you all get together and maybe those things just don't exist anymore. And I think that's why the morale in stations is so down now. We used to do so much team building and growing, whether it was going out to dinners, there was just always something going on. Now people come in and they're grumpy and they go home and they're grumpy and there's like no payoff. Like,
not at all.
Maybe there's pizza.
No.
Like,
maybe, yeah, after a while, there was never a bonus. When I was there. There was never it was just like, oh, the last day before the holidays, Merry Christmas, everybody. I remember there was a client party that we could go to like celebrate Christmas. But I did think the same thing. Like, where's the morale? Where's the fun? Where's I don't know, like, it's such a miserable place to be when no one appreciates you.
And the last two places I worked, the only reason there was any kind of morale was because of two incredible women. I won't name them, but like at my last place, this woman just made sure there was fun things to do and activities and groups. And if there was prizes that weren't picked up, she would give those. And the job before that, she was like our mother. She was like our fairy godmother. She just took such good care of us, and she like planned lunches and fun things just to do. But if it wasn't for those women, there'd be nothing.
There was a few salespeople in my Vancouver station, and they would do like a wine. I don't know what it was, a wine giveaway, and it was like every day until the December 22nd or whatever. They would draw a name in the hat. If your name was drawn, you're out. And at the end, if you were the last one drawn, you would get all this wine.
Yeah.
So obviously I did it because I was like, I love wine, and I was like, that's so fun. But it had to be the salespeople doing it, or the announcers doing it. God forbid I worked for the biggest company in the goddamn country. They can't do anything for their employees. It was sad.
It is
pathetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's chat about some of our episodes because we really had some great interviews.
I know. It's just been the people who have come on, like Cindy Day.
God bless her soul, honestly.
I love Cindy Day. I have such a crush on her.
I listened to the show again this morning, and I was just like, she just is so knowledgeable, number one, about the weather. Like, the stuff she knew was incredible. And you're like, oh, does this happen when there's a hurricane? She's like, yeah, because the precipitation. I'm like, what? What? But she just is so passionate about her job. And it kills me because there's so many people that are just so mean to her online when she really is just trying to do a really good job.
And she's so nice.
She's really, really nice.
She's like the nicest, sweetest person.
Yeah.
Like we could have talked to her for hours.
Yeah, we could have. She was our first guest on, so I think we were all just kind of like trying to figure out what the hell to do.
Cindy Day was at my house.
Yeah, she was at. Honestly, Cindy Day's tall.
She is tall. She's beautiful too.
Yes, I actually was expecting her to be like 5'1" or 5'2".
I know.
I don't know why. Well, you just see someone on TV, you don't know. And I come into the room and she's like 5'9", 5'10". I was like, good God, Cindy Day. She
got legs for days.
She does. She does. I was teeny tiny because you are what, 5'9"?
I don't know. I think so.
5'9"?
We'll go with that.
I'm 5'5", which is a relatively average height, but I felt like I was a tiny little girl next to them. But Cindy Day was amazing, and it was just so fun to talk to her finally after seeing her when I grew up.
Yeah, I bet.
And then we had Natalie Fournier on.
Oh my gosh.
She really was very brave and shook shit up.
We can't thank Natalie enough for not only coming on and sharing her story, but she had not shared her story ever. Only a few select knew about it, and she said it with such grace. And I just applaud her because it is not an easy thing to come out and say, and a lot of victims never come out and say what happened to them.
Absolutely. And honestly, if I hadn't known it was the first time she talked about it, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
She was very confident, very matter of fact in how she described what happened. And I know that you talk about it, recording the podcast is one thing, but when the podcast comes out, that's kind of stressful. I mean, I think even you and I feel a little bit like, you're like, oh crap, we did say that. We did say that about a certain somebody that will probably know if they listen that it's them. Once you've said it and then it comes out, you're like, shit, yeah, it's real. And I think she kind of probably felt that, but I'm just honestly so proud of her because I got so many people saying stuff to me about her episode.
The person that she was talking about, I've had people reach out from other provinces and be like, I worked with him here and he did the same thing or something along the lines of that. And sharing a story like that for somebody who is still working in media, for women to hear that it wasn't just them,
yes,
I think is, I don't know what to explain that as. It wasn't just you that happened to. And I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad that he's doing that. But since he did do it, having someone talk about it, I'm sure that is so empowering for them. And I hope that if they want to talk about it someday, they can always come on and chat with us because I think it's good to get it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for people to know, quite frankly. I don't think we should keep hiding these guys and protecting these guys who do these sick things.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we found our voices and talked about it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm over it, quite frankly. So Priya Sam, we had her on as well, who was on the news. It was the biggest dream in the world for her to be on the news. And once she was on it, she was like, well, goddamn, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
She taught us a lot as well. And I'm just so amazed of her taking everything that she learned and starting her own business. If that's not boss bitch vibes, then I don't know what is.
When she came on, like, Amy and I are like using Zoom. We couldn't like hook up the microphone that day. It wasn't working for some reason. I don't fucking know. We are the worst with technology. I mean, I'm actually worse, but Priya comes on looking flawless, number one, and number two with her perfect microphone, and it's just so clear. And I was just like, she is really showing us up.
I know, we're like, how much so we never get cut off for 45 minutes? Please, we'll pay the extra $20.
We had to get Zoom Workplace or something like that. So, because if not, I could only do the Zoom for what, 30, 40?
We had to put it on like 6 visas.
So lame. But yeah, Priya was just so eloquent and she's smart as hell.
Oh my gosh, I was so honored to talk. And like I said, one of the things that really appealed to me that you said is she's like, there's not even glitz and glamour anymore. I'm like, that is so true. It's just like all work and no play.
And people are in bad moods.
Yes.
I've been in TV studios, well, the one in Vancouver mostly, and people are in bad moods because they're being treated like shit. You would think in a TV studio, sorry, people are excited because it is exciting. It's so exciting to go on TV. I loved going on. I loved doing my traffic updates. I loved doing my entertainment updates. But people are like that when they're working there every day. They're mad.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It is. And it's just, it's contagious.
Yeah.
If somebody's in a bad mood, then you're in a bad mood. Then everybody's like, Mrr.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, remember, I started filling in on that network in Vancouver for a while, and I had decided before that I was going to leave the company. I had to. It was so unfortunate that they just started getting me on TV, but I was at a mental breaking point. I had to leave. I was walking down the hall one day, and one of the TV guys don't really, like, the behind the scenes technical TV guys, they don't always talk to the TV personalities. I think they find us annoying. But this one guy walked past me. He's like, "Hey, Megan, I heard you're leaving." I was like, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "That's a shame. We really like you." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I was like, I know I have to leave, but that really touched me a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was the one nice thing that anyone said to me. I'm joking. People said nice things a lot.
I think something else Priya said too when she was talking about all the free work. Let's let them in a little inside scoop about radio.
Yeah.
The amount of free work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, anytime you see us in a club, on a booze cruise, at a convention, at a festival, at a concert, we're not getting paid for that.
Well, when I did Club Soda updates, whatever it's called, live to airs here,
Yes.
I did get paid for that.
Those were remotes, though. Those are
Remotes.
different.
Yes, remotes are different.
Yeah, when we're like, come on down and say
Yeah.
hi.
That's a remote.
When we're just standing there at a 10-hour concert, all day, we don't even get lunch. Like, we have to pay our own gas to get there, go there. And once upon a time, that was all fun. But now...
When you're 21, it's really fun.
Exactly. I find now, since, they started becoming big businesses, once upon a time, you come in at like 6 to do your morning show and you're out of there by 10. And then all of a sudden, they started implementing 7.5 8-hour days. You have to do your 8-hour days. And so you do an 8-hour day, and then your weekends are gone because you're at some event. You're, whether it's a run for the cure or this or that, you're out there promoting the station, but it's all for free.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I remember when I did, so the big concert here was Summer Rush, and it was so fun. They don't have that anymore, do they?
No.
In Halifax. I
No.
haven't been here in a while.
Oh, so that came to a kibosh when the great people who were in charge, you were gone.
Yeah.
They decided that 2 years after the incident, Chris Brown would be a great headliner.
Ooh, that was not smart.
No, and then people started pulling out. We made it on Perez Hilton because all these sponsors started to pull out. The hate mail I got, I had people calling me a misogynistic bitch, like listeners. And I was like, I'm sorry, do you think I called Chris Brown and was like, hey, you want to come to Halifax and do this concert?
So did the concert go?
It's done.
Oh my God.
Everything was canceled, and then it never picked up from there. Yeah.
Oh my God. Summer Rush is actually where I met a guy that I dated and lived with for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I met him at Summer Rush.
I was there.
Yeah. It was a good time. Good 3.5 years. Thanks for that.
Aw.
Actually was. I mean, for the most part, it was.
Well, there you go. It
Yeah.
was free, but you got
I got a boyfriend out of it.
You did.
And
we
it was
could have been
great.
besties, but his friend wasn't into me and ditched me at the club.
We tried. We really tried to get them together. And in fact, he had a couple girlfriends after that. And with every girlfriend of his, I tried so hard to make them my besties. Like, they're just not Amy.
Aw.
But yeah, I was part-time at that time. So I would go to the Summer Rush all day long. And I also one year did my TV show there, which I also wasn't getting paid for. And I wasn't getting paid for that. And they were like, oh, well, no one else gets paid for that. And I was like, well, technically the other people are on salary, so they do get paid more than I do. But for the most part, none of us were getting paid.
No,
And it was a long ass. To be honest, I loved it. I thought it was so much fun.
it was. We were in our 20. God, if I had to do like a 10-hour free day now, I'd be like, no.
I would say I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
You can pay me, and not in drink tickets.
No, exactly.
Pay me cash money, bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd have that in my contract. If I was hired by a radio station now or whatever, I would have a few things in my contract.
Absolutely.
When the show's done, we're done.
Speaking of drink tickets, Courtney Amiro,
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
she, I think, really shined a light on alcoholism in our industry.
It's a huge, huge thing. And you don't realize it at first because it's just like so social.
Well, because I think we all start so young too. So when you're 20, you're just going out all the time when you have your friends and, you know.
To be honest, I didn't even drink when I first started in radio.
Really?
No.
When I worked in Ottawa, there's this like really famous bar, like a Irish pub right down the street. And when everybody was done their shift, I mean, you work at different hours.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter what time you went there, and we always had a table with somebody there that you knew. So you didn't want to go home. You found like that table, and you just kept the party going.
They all hated me with my first station. Not my first station, but the first set of people at that station, because I didn't go out to drink. I didn't like it. I didn't have fun. I felt very uncomfortable with those people, so I wouldn't go. But then when the PD started that we liked, I started going out a lot then.
Yeah.
Because I was also like single as well. I was living downtown, and it was fun, but it is all based around alcohol. And if you are somebody who has an addictive personality or whatever, that's going to be a dangerous thing for you.
I didn't even think of like how hard it is until Courtney said, like, you know, for people reporting the news and like murders and all of this. And if you're not in therapy, you're going to go home and drink yourself silly to try to get those images out.
Absolutely. And like we said, we know people who have lost their lives from alcoholism. Working in radio, I never saw the person I'm talking about, the person. I never saw that. I didn't even realize. I was so naive sometimes.
He was the greatest guy, and I think a lot of us, know who we're talking about. But he really was the greatest guy, and he was just so happy. And
we shared a birthday. Oh, yeah.
He actually passed on Everett's birthday.
Oh wow.
And but he was just the nicest guy, always smiling, always happy. But he did morning show, and so he would get off at like 10, and then nobody really knew what he was doing in the day. And it was really sad when he was gone, because I saw him in the hospital the first time around, and then he got better, and everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And once that was finished, everybody thought, okay, well, that's it now, like he's going to be on a good track, and nobody really knew what was happening.
Alcoholism to that extent, because I heard the same thing. He's off work at 10 a.m. and just drank all day long. Yeah. But you don't know. But I used to walk into this, because I did middays. I used to walk into the studio every day, and it stunk like alcohol in the studio. And I always thought it was the younger girl co-host, because she was younger, and I just thought she was going out all the time. And now I know what it was. And yeah, we obviously didn't know what was going on in his life, but to know that that's what was happening, and to know that he got better for a while, and something triggered it, and he went back into drinking with such a fragile body, is honestly devastating. And I was in Vancouver, so I hadn't seen him in years. When it happened, somebody texted me and they said, blah blah blah, died. I was like, they just used his first name though, and I was like, who? And they said his last name. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Called a few of the radio announcers that I knew that just seen him in the hospital. Yeah. Left, and he passed away.
Yeah. I think of when I worked in Ottawa, there were some legendary people, like those old guys that have been there forever. And there was one guy, and he had a drinking problem. And that was the time when we had overnight people stacking stuff. And he would like show up drunk, passed out, like knocking things over, calling people like drunk. But he was never let go or anything like that, because it was just, oh, that's so-and-so. And, he passed of alcohol. as well.
Oh my God.
But
How many times did you sleep at the station?
I never did do it. I was terrified in that building.
I slept in both the Halifax and the Vancouver station.
Did you?
Because I also, if I wanted to go out on a Friday night, I worked at 8 a.m. on Saturday. And I would, in Vancouver, I lived quite a little ways out. So I would sleep at the station. I got very used to that. I can sleep anywhere at this point. But yeah, Courtney's story, in all seriousness, she's really gotten herself on the right track now. She doesn't drink. She doesn't do any of that stuff. And I think being out of the industry, unfortunately, has really helped that.
Yeah, I made it when I was doing mornings. I didn't drink during the week because I am old girl, and then waking up at 3:30 in the morning is already hard enough as it is. Like,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it to, like, am I going to have a hangover? Like, sometimes on a nice summer day, you know, it kind of gets away from you. You're like, let's just live it up. But I always made it a point. I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. No, it's not worth it either to have a bad show. You're definitely on, like, what do they call it? Tenterhooks? What do they call it?
I don't know. What?
You were on edge, I guess, because it felt like no matter what you did at your last station, you were going to get in trouble or you did something fucking wrong. So God forbid you had even a drink during the week and went a little bit hungover.
Do you know what's funny is, once I was like talking about being hungover in the summer or something, or I don't know, the Christmas party. And then I got a complaint that all I do is talk about how hungover I am. And I'm like, what? And then maybe it was the beginning of this year. We just had gone to Dominican for my birthday, and I came back, and I'm like, I don't know what it is about down south, but I like thrive. Like, I have the worst stomach in the world. I've been to the hospital. Like, everybody has it. When I'm down south, my stomach is regular. My skin clears up.
Mine's not.
Oh no, my stomach thrives down there. And so I remember telling my boss, and I was like, I don't know what it is down south. Like, my skin clears up, my psoriasis is good. I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm like, it makes no sense. Like, I'm eating bread every day and I'm drinking. And he's like, oh, maybe you're a closet alcoholic.
Really?
And I was like, what? I have never come in here smelling like booze or been hungover, and if I am hungover, I make a joke about it. Like, but it's not like an all the time thing. And I was like, if you're saying that to me, like,
what are you saying behind my back?
Exactly. Like,
by the way, I just looked up what tenterhooks mean.
Okay.
What does it mean to be on tenterhooks? It means in suspense. So I used it wrong. If someone's on tenterhooks, it means they are in suspense, metaphorically hanging there, waiting for something. I don't know. Maybe that could have worked. Anyway, I needed to know what it meant exactly. But going back to that, actually going down south, my stomach is probably worse than it could ever be all the time. A bunch of years ago, this is when I was still in Halifax working at the station, I went to Mexico for my mom's wedding, and I don't know, I got a virus or something, and I was, how do I say this ladylike?
You shit yourself everywhere.
Pissing out of my ass. I was pissing out of my ass.
But you know what? Like, I feel like that's so many women these days. They'd be like, stop talking about your poop. And I'm like, but do you know how many women have IBS problems? Like,
God, but this was like beyond. And it got so bad that when other people, during the whole week we were there, obviously a lot of people were there as a wedding. If anybody else started to have diarrhea, they called them the Megans. Shit, I got the Megans because I was sick the whole time. I was still going out and doing things, but my guts were not good, girl.
Oh, see, when I come back, that's when my stomach, like, when we came back from Dominican, I had to go get an enema because I didn't go to the bathroom for 9 days. I had to, like, call in sick. I was like, it looked like I was pregnant, and I was like, restore Laxis or restore Lie. Like, nothing is working, so I had to go get an enema.
That doesn't happen to me ever.
No, but when I'm down there, it's fine.
That's crazy.
I miss talking about poop on the radio.
Fuck it. It's not the radio anymore.
I know.
This is podcasting, baby, on the internet. We can talk about poo all we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listened to Courtney's episode. Obviously, I was there doing it. I refreshed yesterday and listened to it again. And I love the amount of life she has in her. She's so feisty and she tells it like it is. I really appreciate somebody like that. And she really was very brutally honest.
Yeah. And it's not over yet. We still have other women to talk about. You know what I've loved? We've reached out to so many women, and every woman has a different story. Cindy was like bullying. Priya talked about racism. Courtney talked about alcoholism. We're going to talk to other women who just have different stories.
Yeah. One that we're going to be talking to her is Tamara Taggart, who is if you're in Vancouver, because a lot of these girls that we just interviewed are very known on the East Coast. I lived on the West Coast for 14 years. I would say I'm an honorary Vancouverite, and when I started at the station, I worked at Tamara Taggart was working there. She was the anchor, and she was a badass bitch. And she went through a lot of shit, and we're gonna be talking to her, and I'm really excited for that. We did not stop talking.
I know, she was wonderful. We also talked to Tina Sapp, who shares a story of how she was basically let go during maternity leave because she did not take an official maternity leave.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And just more joys of being a woman in media or a woman in a big company.
Yeah. And these women have a lot to say, and they were, again, super candid. I'm excited for what's to come in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Of our final, I was going to say final season. What am I talking about?
No, our
first season.
Our first season. And, you know, I really enjoy doing this podcast with you.
Me too. It's because we honestly have never actually been on air together.
No.
Maybe like a couple Summer Rush, little, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. What is it called when you do like a cut-in or whatever?
A cut-in?
Is that what it's called?
Well, a remote if you're getting paid. It's a cut-in if you're not.
Yeah, cut-in. We're doing cut-ins.
Cut-ins.
We did some cut-ins.
So many cut-ins.
Yeah, all kinds of cut-ins. I've never really gone on air with you other than that.
I know, but it's been fun, and it's so freeing to, you know, speak how you want to speak. Yep. I don't say all the right words. I lose my track of thought a lot. I
just said tenterhooks. What the fuck does that mean? You've never even heard that word before.
I'm French.
Yeah.
I'm trying. But I was so judged, or if I fucked up a word or, you know, alluded to something. So it's just nice to have that freedom and just to talk about, you know, we're doing our best not to drop names or, you know, because
we're doing pretty good at that, actually.
I think we are.
We're doing really good.
Yeah.
We would do interviews and people would drop names and I'd be thinking, fuck, we got to bleep that out.
Yeah, there was a couple that I sat there like trying to edit for like 6 hours and be like, can you listen back and make sure I got them all?
Yeah.
We have no money and we do not have money to be sued. Don't come for us, bro. You'll get nothing.
When we first started doing this, so our first episode we recorded in July maybe? July or August?
It was July.
And I could sense from you being hesitant to talk because you're still pretty fresh of being out of the industry.
Yeah.
I am not. I'm like 4 years out, but I could sense that hesitation from you. And it's like the 5 episodes we've done, 6 now, I can sense it like almost gone away.
These women have encouraged me so much to use my voice and speak up. I've made it. I'm not going back to radio, even if I don't know, if LA called and they were like, hey, do you want to come do a morning show for $3 million? I'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will be happening. But like I said to Everett, just looking back and all the shit I endured and all the bashing of my personality and my qualities that I have, I am done. I can't do that anymore for my mental health. So I don't feel like I need to protect anything anymore or anyone.
I think that's the best place to be, though, because if a morning show came along and we're like, Megan and Amy, we want you guys, we'd be like, well, you know what we're like now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for years we're not pretending. It's not fake, but we have to be on our best behavior the whole time. Now we've said everything.
Yeah.
We don't like this. We don't like this. We want to be treated like this. You treated us like shit. We burn the bridges. And if they actually want us at this point, we've got nothing to lose at this point.
I think when we first recorded and stuff, I was like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And yeah, I know maybe it was just a joke or maybe this, but now I'm like, no. And really, thank you to all the incredible women who have come on and shared their stories because you have given me the strength to be a little more direct of what happened.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, I've said this before, I don't think the truth or how we've been treated should be burning a bridge.
Yeah.
We haven't been treated fairly in a lot of situations. And I think it's ridiculous to say, oh, I'm burning a bridge because I spoke about spoke out about how I was treated unfairly. I think that's kind of fucked up. You're burning a bridge if you're like I don't know, talking major shit about someone who doesn't deserve it and it was rude, whatever. We haven't done that.
Yeah. Talking with Courtney too, when she said, I have, there's fight and flight and then there's fawn. I have that. And when I got let go, I fawned like a little baby in the lights.
What does that look like?
It looks like me being like, we're letting you go, and my face turning red and not being able to say anything.
Right.
To the point where I heard they were like, they said it was like one of the best firings, because I just sat there and I just froze. I just froze and was like, oh, why? Okay, why? And then just left.
Yeah. I fight. And when I was laid off, they handed me the envelope. And I was like, I knew I should have quit when you guys wouldn't give me a raise. And I got up and stormed off. I wish I had said a bit more, but I didn't.
Yeah, I wish I had said like anything, but I was just like, actually, I was like, I'm just so done fighting with you. I'm just so tired of like, my fight was just gone. Every time I tried to speak up or stand up for myself, it always turned into something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Everett even said, he's like, when you came home, like you seemed relieved, like there was relief in your eyes. And I was like, I don't know.
If you're not, I'm obviously you have the stress of like, how am I going to make money and all that kind of thing. But there probably was an element of that. Like, finally, like you maybe had it in the back of your mind, like, I cannot do anything right.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, it's always wrong. There's always a problem. So it probably was in the back of your mind. And then finally you're laid off. And although that's shitty,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of probably the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah. Because now we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And something else, like for anybody who's like, oh, let's start a podcast, you know, it'll be so much fun.
Don't ask us how to help you set up any tech stuff.
It is so much fun, but it's kind of pricey. Equipment and editing tools and software tools and like, yeah. And it's all a learning thing. Sometimes you try one software that doesn't work, or you try a mic and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
even the setup of our like social media and stuff like that, and how we want it to look, and like we wanted to do like full videos of each of our episodes, and we tried, but it's not. Some of them are not great quality, number one. Some of them, the audio is absolute horseshit.
I knew it was horseshit when like people that I respect in the industry, like older mentors to me, they're like, so do you have this mic for your, and I was like, no. He's like, well, and started sending me links of things we knew. And I'm like, what you're trying to say is take that down immediately because it looks terrible.
And we are very particular about the audio side of it, because that is everything.
Yeah.
In our industry. So yeah, we were very particular with it, but we want to make the podcast, we want to do a second season, and we want it to be really good quality. I want it to be really good. I know you do too.
I think too, there's such images, and I think of like a Courtney sharing her story, and when you see how tiny she is and like how quirky she is, like just putting a face to the voice always helps. Natalie being so courageous to share what she said and what she went through on video too. I'm so sad that, you know,
I mean, I have the video still. It's on my phone. When I go to it, it got like that. It jumps like that for some reason.
And I think they were doing like construction in the back, and it's like, bing.
No, you know what it actually is?
What?
My dad got it. I'm staying with my dad right now. He got a new fridge, and all of a sudden it's very quiet in the house. And I was like, it was the fucking fridge. It was 30 years old. Can you imagine? You're 30 years old, it's running every day.
Yeah.
My dad moved that fridge out the way, and I was like, Dad, it's so quiet. I was like, it was the fridge. It was the fridge that ruined our audio with Natalie Fournier.
So these are the things that were, you know, I think for a first season, listen, the stories, at least the stories have been good. So that's holding up.
They're good.
We're trying.
We are trying our best, and it's like, we're trying our best. We want to make it work, but we want to make it an amazing experience for the listener and the viewer as well, because that's obviously the most important thing. So we are doing a GoFundMe. And, you know, I think at first I didn't struggle as much. I think Amy struggled a little bit about wanting to do a GoFundMe.
Like terribly, because I've never done one before. My family is like not for that. They're not for charity and stuff. And I was like, what will they think? But I think after talking to a lot of people, Everett too, because he's a musician.
He made a good point, actually.
He did. He was like, listen, I sell tickets for shows for like $15 and
Okay.
people come and you put on a show. You are doing a show for free, and if people want to support you, you shouldn't feel ashamed of that. And I'm just like, oh,
And then there's me who's like, I've literally done like 3 GoFundMe's. When I was doing the pageants, I had to fundraise for the pageants. I was like when I did Miss World Canada, I was the top 3 most money raised. I was going at her. So like I really have no shame about it anymore. I'm like, hey, can you help us? If not, cool, but we'd really love some help.
and I think that's why we work well together. I'm like good at editing stuff, and I'm like, I'll just sit in a thing quiet and not ask anybody. And you're like, please help us.
Money. Please give us money. Please let us interview you. Please. Yeah, it's actually super beneficial because
It is.
I don't mind editing, but I don't love it.
I don't mind sitting there. And honestly, it made me feel like, because I haven't been doing it forever, but that's what I was good at. I was really good behind a board, even though they didn't think I was a good anchor. And every time a new guy co-host would come in, they were like, okay, train him on the board and then back to the other seat for you. And I just really enjoyed it. So that's been fun, and it's been really good. But if you do like what you're hearing and want to help us, right now we're sitting on Megan's bed.
This is very unprofessional, and we'd like it to be professional, although it's comfy. Yeah, we have the GoFundMe information up on our Instagram at Bridges Burn Pod.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Feel free to give us a like and a listen, and you can listen to previous episodes if you haven't already on Spotify and Apple. And honestly, we can't thank everybody enough who has not only listened and sent us amazing feedback, but who has been sponsoring us as well.
Yes, we were working with Youth Bar. They're a new business as well. They do aesthetics and Botox. They do the filler. They do IV therapy. They do PRP, which I fucking love. And I went to them and I thought they're a new business, just like we're a new business. And I thought, actually, they came to me when I posted it on my Instagram. And I was like, I've already been to you guys before. You guys are awesome. And I know like you're just starting too. So let's work together.
I love that.
They really are really great.
They are.
You were there. So we filmed a little commercial a couple weeks ago.
Got a little Botox.
We got a little Botox. Well, I got a lot of Botox. Amy was like, you can have the rest of it. I'll just do some Botox. But weren't they great?
Oh my God, the nicest people,
So
and
nice.
the ladies were just awesome, and they're so friendly and
Yeah.
knowledgeable, and the place is just great.
They're not trying to give you like 100 units of Botox if you don't need it.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? You could probably use, I don't know, 30, 35. You don't really need it here. You could use it there. Oh, I also got an NAD shot when I was there.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to go into anaphylactic shock for a quick sec.
No, it just works that fast. Your body was like,
My body was like, what? And they gave me a juice box because I was scared. But anyway, you can do that stuff there. It's really fun. They were awesome. Juice boxes are free.
yeah, they are with every shot.
It is tropical fruit. So yeah, we've had a really great, well, we're only midway through. That's what we're doing. This is a midway through episode.
Recap and rosé.
We don't even have any rosé.
I know.
Shit, I should have poured some.
My boss will be so sad.
Yeah.
Our ex-boss.
All right, but she's drunk right now. Yeah, she's loaded. She's got here absolutely trapped. Yeah, we're just so I'm so excited. That's how I know it's a good thing. I've recorded podcasts before and I was never really excited about this.
That's because you weren't working with me.
Duh.
Avi.
Yeah, no, I dread them. I did. And today when you were coming over, I'm like, awesome. Yeah, can't wait. Get the mic. Pick up the mics on the way, Amy.
I forgot the rosé.
She forgot the rosé though. So yeah, thank you guys so much for everything. And we've got a few more episodes left to go.
Yes,
And they're going to be great.
they are.
I'm
good.
really excited for all of them.
Yeah, we can't thank our guests enough, and we really can't thank everybody who's been listening and supporting. It means the world to us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for just allowing us to talk. Literally, we just sat here for, this would have been hard for me with another host, I think. We've just like talked and talked and talked, and with maybe a couple of little notes, but really we just went off,
Yeah,
which is like my dream to do.
I know.
I know a lot of people think that's annoying because I do talk a fucking lot, but that is my dream to do. That's what I like to do.
And now you're doing it, babe.
Yeah, babe. Okay, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.